So what we're going to do is go to our subtool, and I think we were working on the top one. We had divided it, so it was up to level 5, and we're going to go down and make sure this one is selected. All right, so what we want to do is make sure that our poly, we want to make sure this is poly paint, so that way when we do project all, it transfers over our RGB value to it. All right, so we want to make sure we do that. So make sure in Subtool you have this selected, number one, and we're going to hit Poly Paint from Texture. All right, so it says mRGB draw is off. Okay, I didn't know what that meant the first time that came up. So you just basically just go up here and turn that on. Let's try that again. All right, so really quickly, it's almost instantaneous how that happened. And so now we're going to go up to our subtool, and we're going to turn this on. Make sure you have the top one selected. It is kind of confusing which one's bottom, which one is the top. So we want to make sure we have that one that we have subdivided 5 times. If you're on a bigger computer, you can do it 6 times. I wouldn't go any further than that. It's kind of an overkill. And we're going to go to that very high level, and we're going to project all. So it's going to project all those little crevices onto this thing. It'll make sense in just a second. All right, so we're going to go to geometry, and we're going to find actually subtool. I always get confused in here. We're going to hit project. All right, and we're going to hit project all. Okay, again, that top one is selected and the bottom one is on. Just make sure you can see it, and we'll hit project all. Now this is very taxing. It's going to ask you, do you want it poly painting to active subtool? So basically it says transferring over. You could say no, but we do want that data. So we hit yes. And you can see it's going to take a while for this, especially if you're at level 6 and 7. It'll be pretty exhausting. All right, there we go. Just like that, we have projected, which is pretty amazing. We have projected over to this form right here. So we have this really high resolution form. And so right now, this form that we have right here is at 1.292 million, which is a huge amount of detail on here. Now, again, we've actually gone up and not down with this, but we're going to show you how to export this out and utilize normal maps within our next software, which is the painting software. All right, so what we're going to do, this video is going to be inside of a video, so I'm going to, forgot a step, so I'm going to go back and show you, make sure there's a UV map on there. So I might go ahead and turn off our bottom one. This is the one that we just projected all on, and as our cloned one. Again, this is really important because we have those lower divisions on there. So if we go all the way down to lower 1, this is important so we can bake this out to the higher division. All right, so at level number 1, we need to properly UV map this, and this could be the wrong time to do this, but I was successful, and I realized when I exported it out earlier, didn't have any UV maps, and Substance gave me the stop sign saying stop, gave me some errors. So we're going to go to Z plugin, and we're going to go UV master. Again, this may be the wrong way, but it did help me out. So we're going to do unwrap. Okay, and what that's going to do is help us with our textures. All right, so I'm just going to go in here to our texture map and create, and from Polypaint, just to make sure that it is correct. All right, so we have that. We are going to clone that texture so we can have that in Substance Designer. So this is a step that I was missing. And this is really important just to make sure your UV maps, before it was just one big square. I screwed it up big time. So we're going to clone this texture, and you'll see that the texture is on top. And so we may have to flip this. So we're going to do that when we export out really quickly. So we're going to go into textures here, and I'm pretty sure this is it. Probably the same one that we got from previously, but it is correct. I'm going to go ahead and hit export if I can find it. All right, we're going to export, and I'm going to make a new folder called final model and textures from ZBrush. Okay. A little bit of an overkill, but I have a lot of overlap here. All right, so we're going to export that JPEG. All right, the JPEGs are fine. PNGs, JPEGs, etc. And I think you can hit OK here on the bottom. It's kind of hidden. Also, we're going to go in here into textures, and we're going to flip this too for good luck. So we're going to hit flip V, and we're going to export this out just in case we may need that. All right, final textures. I'm going to call this flip underscore texture, and this will kind of be different from the next set of tutorials, but you can kind of see the process on how to flip it here in-house. All right, so again, it's all there, it's flipped, hit okie dokie. All right, and I think this is pretty straightforward. We're gonna go to our subtool, and this has been UV mapped. And again, we have this all the way to our lowest division. Let me go ahead and go to my geometry. And there is a key for this. You can do Shift D to go to your lower and hit D to go up to 5. So we're at our lowest level. We're going to go ahead and export this out. Again, this is in our thing here. I'll go ahead and call this low. This is an OBJ, not FBX at this point. Hit save. All right, it's pretty quick because it's only half a megabyte, and we're going to go up to high, or 5, export, and I would call this high. You can call it whatever bone it is, but this is high and low. And you can see our OBJ also spits out an MTL. Not sure what that's for, but anyways, we'll hit high and low. All right, so this has been added to the video just because there was issues with the UV mapping. Again, it's really quick fix. All right, we'll stop there and you'll go on to the next tutorial. Oh, yeah, as you can see, it's still chugging away. This is at level 5. Please don't try to go up to 6 or 7. It'll definitely really overly tax your system. All right, good luck, and I'll see you on the next tutorial.